Alright, you guys, we're going to be reviewing Need for Speed Underground, initially launched in 2003 and published by Electronic Arts. It is a underground street racing game, which was a common fad back in the early 2000s. It has great cars and great handling, very archaic handling, but still great. It's arcade. It's an arcade racer. Obviously, it has archaic handling. Uh, it supports controllers. It supports keyboard and mouse, obviously, because it did come out. It did come out on the PS3, the original Xbox, as well. It does support the Xbox One controller over Bluetooth, over the PC, or wired. Same thing for the PS4 controller, PS3 controller, Xbox 360 controller, and pretty much any generic PC controller you can buy as well. So you can pretty much play this game any way you like. You have multiple camera options, you have audio options, you have um, display options, which mainly just affect your graphics. Honestly, like that's how you control graphics in this game is through your your display options. You have your time trials, which are just pretty much you know get here from here to here as fast as you can, like pretty much in any other racing game. Um, and the one thing with this game I'm gonna say is it is pretty dated. The physics are dated, and that's the thing that's gonna probably drive you crazy the most. Okay, they're dated. The moment you hit something, your car's gonna fly into the air and it's gonna think it doesn't have any weight anymore or any physics anymore. It's gonna laugh at the law of physics. It's just gonna be terrible. Just don't hit anything. Don't hit traffic, or you can hit walls and stuff. That's fine. Just don't hit traffic. Mainly don't hit traffic or other like racers that you're racing with. And one thing I will say about this game, the rubber band AI is terrible. It is probably the worst rubber band AI I have ever seen in my life. I've seen one AI run into a car, dead into a car, and I was driving perfectly, and he caught right up to me and then passed me right before I got to the finish line. That is unreal. The rubber banding in this game is unreal. You guys are like, what is rubber banding? Rubber banding is when they hit someone and they can catch up to you once you're already half a mile down the track and then laugh at you about it and pass you and beat you. There's no way in real life that would ever happen. That's not something that's going to happen. So that's just, I'm just kind of explaining to you guys that. This game will pretty much run on any hardware. It'll pretty much run on like a P4, a decent Pentium 4 processor, which is a much, much older build. It's like a 775 socket. And if you guys don't know what that means, a 775 socket is something that you would have probably had back in like 2004 or 2005. It would have been all right, pretty decent. And like DDR2 RAM, again, that's something that would go with that socket. It's old. It's an old game, man. Like it'll run pretty good on pretty much anything, man. You could just turn the graphics down, even if you have a really crappy laptop from like 2008. Turn them down to low. You'll get about a solid lock 30 FPS. I have it all turned out and maxed out, and all the way up, all the way turned up. I get a lock 60 regardless because obviously I have a pretty decent entry level rig. And that's pretty much that on that. The story consists of you being a young up and comer, and you're trying to, like in every other racing game, make a name for yourself because you had a square come and mess with you, man, knock you off your game. So you're trying to get back up on your game. So there's that. One thing I will say, I cannot play the soundtracks in this game, but the music in this game is excellent. It is an excellent soundtrack. It is an excellent mix of early 2000s electronica, early 2000s pop, early 2000s rap. It is awesome, man. You guys will love it. Like that's something you guys would just really love. I mean, I loved it, man. The moment I heard it, and I heard it way back in 2004, right when the game started to come out. Right now, I'm doing one of the timed events. Not doing very good at it, obviously, but just playing around with it a little bit. You know, I do have motion blur turned on. You don't need that turned on. That's more of something that's if it's to your liking and to your taste, then knock yourself out. And honestly, generally, it's not something I generally care for. But in racing games, it's all right, I guess. It gives you a better sense of speed. Graphical fidelity in this game is quite good. It is quite immersive. It is quite fun. And it's something that this is a game that I would recommend to pretty much anyone. This is a game you can get into and play any time of the day. And once you start playing it, you're going to just love yourself. You're going to love it. You're going to love yourself for playing it. You're going to love the game. I mean, I don't even know if I honestly want to give this one a rating, man. This one's a classic. Man, you got different camera angles. Man. And the one thing with this game is, one tricky thing with this game is reassigning the controls on PC. If you have a gamepad, whether it's a PS4 gamepad or PS3 gamepad, it doesn't matter. It's tricky because it likes to, every time you save the game and then turn the game off, reset your controls every once in a while just to mess with you. That's the biggest thing with this. That's one thing that's gonna mess with you a little bit on this. Now we're going to go ahead and go to sound quality. But we're going to go ahead and go to sound quality. And sound quality is pretty decent. I mean, some of the engines, I'm not going to lie, the engine sound quality is not that great. It's not that great. There's far better sound quality as far as engines go, and a lot more modern games. But this is an old game, like I said. But there's even older games with better, engine sound quality, like by a lot. There's like, Need for Speed Underground 2, for instance. There's Need for Speed. Even Hot Pursuit, I think, had better engine sound. This is pretty rough. But it's not terrible. It's just a little rough. That's all. It's not bad by any means. But as far as overall sound quality goes, it's excellent. As far as the soundtracks go, and the bass, and the treble, and the bit rate and all that cool stuff, it sounds great. You guys, you're gonna love it as far as that goes. The graphics are actually really good for when it came out, and even now I think they're still pretty good graphics. It's still something you guys are gonna really like. Just crank the graphics all the way up if you have the processing power to do so, and you're gonna enjoy the game. I put this game at a solid, I'd say probably a solid. Oh man, I want to say an 8, but I'm not feeling an 8. I'm feeling like it's kind of dated, but it did bring in its own. It brought in its own reign. It did its own thing. I'm gonna say this was a solid 7. I'd say this was a solid 7 out of 10. It's a bit dated now. It's not, it's pretty bare bones. It doesn't really have a lot of car selections. It doesn't really have a lot of customizations. You don't really unlock anything until like the later parts of the game. So I'd say it's a solid 7 out of 10. It's still a good game. It's still above average. It's still something I would suggest picking up. You can pick it up for next to nothing. You guys know that. Pick it up on whatever console or device you can get your hands on. I'd say, honestly, go down to like a thrift store. If you have like an old PS2 or something, and I don't know, spend like $3, $4 on the thing, man. Pick it up and play it. I mean, the user interface is great. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you got things like, hang time. You got things like, style event. You got things like, your total points and your, style points gauge and things like that help engage you in the game. And see, I didn't win this event, so it'll tell you to try again. So what you'll do is you'll just go ahead and hit restart. And it'll restart really quick. That's one thing I suggest with this game. Go ahead and load it onto a solid state drive. You get a lot better load times, like I said in my other videos. That's something that's very important. when you're playing, fast-paced games like this. We need to make split-second decisions. We got to dart in between the in and out of lanes and things like that. So, you got your NOS. The cars do have NOS. Obviously, that's one of the upgrade options you can get in the game. Make it go a little faster. Give that little nice little blur. Add that little extra speed. And the handling is very responsive and it's very awesome. It's very, very immersive. I'm telling you, man, I highly suggest picking this game up. I mean, I know this is just a little retro review for me. This is not a big review for me. This is just something, a little quick review. I felt like it was something that people should, not forget about. I felt like it was a very great game. I felt like it was a game that just, I don't know, just kind of cemented, I don't know, kind of where gaming culture is today. I feel like it's the granddaddy of racing games, honestly. I feel like it's one, not the granddaddy, but I feel like it's one of the granddaddies of, racing games. So obviously there's games like Gran Turismo, we all know that one's the shit. But, I feel like this one's, it's just the granddaddy. But, yeah. I feel like this is a game that anyone can pick up and play and enjoy and have a good time. There's multiple camera angles. The game's more than adaptable. Anyone can, pick it up and play it. That's the great thing. Your grandson or anyone just love this thing. And that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and give the game a rating, and I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, say it's a solid 7 out of 10 because it is a bit dated. It is a bit of an older game, and I will say, like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. Let me know I can better improve my videos, and I appreciate the support and the views, and you guys have nice lives, and I'll do me and you guys do you.